Nancy, I don't understand, boy. I set the water in the bedroom. What's going on?
Well, to tell you the truth, Louise, I was doing some dishes there. And that running water, you know if it's an age thing, eh? But that running water make me want to pee bad. I come there, but you inside the bathroom. So I say, well, I'm going to go out in the yard, through the back door. But then I hear the neighbor there, another day. And by the time I get back there, I start to wet my pants. I mean, it was on the floor. But you had the mop in the bathroom, so I couldn't do anything about it. And when you come out, you see it. I mean to say, I wet my pants. I ain't ashamed to say I wet my pants. It's not the first time I wet my pants.
Well, for sure. For sure. You remember that time in Nova Scotia?
Oh gosh.
It was in Newfoundland when it is the man waiting to take a picture. How that story went again?
Wait.
All I know it was a real laughing matter.
Sit down. Let me educate you a little bit about pee, and we're going to get down to that story there. Sit down here. Come. Let me educate. I now went in there and I was doing a little research about peeing. And some of the advice is that if you hold your urine for a long period of time, you can cause urinary tract infection.
But that don't justify you peeing on the floor, yeah?
No, it don't justify me peeing on the floor. But at the same time, I had to pee.
Right, but and they say, actually, when running water just make you want to pee.
I know a friend up in Deansley Avenue up there, so he said when he come home, he had to pass through the kitchen, usually. And if he sees some dishes and things, he doesn't automatically go and start washing. And then he finds himself taking off to the bathroom.
So you mean to say that another Lancy, the man has washed wares and instead of going pee? And then I hope he might want to mop up after him. He might have left the wares, man.
I know. But
I figure it's better to leave the wares than I'm up in pee, you know.
Well, boy, if you want to do all the dishes from now on, it's okay with me, you know. I can guarantee that you were there when I went in the bathroom.
Well,
but you know, it's
so chronic.
What has happened as you grow older, really and truly, your bladder will be under some stress. Sometimes a man have a little prostate problem. He really can't hold it. He get up several times in the night, you understand? And then during the course of the day, he had to be careful when he go out. It have people, let me tell you something, it have people younger than me. Let me take, for instance, I remember fellas going down the islands. And when you sit down in this boat and you're watching all this water and there's a whole set of them, men and women, and he had a real problem, you know what the man had to do? He had to jump overboard just to pretend
that all is well.
That all is well.
It's a good thing it's not Niagara Falls he was by. That would have been the end, and Niagara Falls would never run dry because he would have been just peeing all the time.
No, it's a serious affair, you know, it's a serious affair. So I was telling you, I was doing a little homework on it,
Yeah.
If you hold your pee for a long period, you'll get a urinary tract infection.
Well, that's serious.
Because bacteria just build up.
Yeah, that is very serious.
You can end up with kidney problems. And in rare cases, believe it or not, your bladder could explode. And that will be deadly. Yes, you see, we know these things. So I want to tell people out there.
That's toxic.
But if your bladder explode, you're in bad business.
Yeah. But that will be the end of the pain anyway.
Okay, and next thing they say, that'll be the end of the pain, that'll be the end of the man too. They say a healthy bladder can hold up to 2 cups of urine before it is considered filled. It takes your body 9 to 10 hours to produce 2 cups of urine. But when you have a problem like we say, like you can't hold your pee for long, it will take you less hours because it's going off so often.
Yeah. So maybe that's why some elderly folks don't like to drink water, because I am amazed sometimes you offer elderly folks, I mean when I say elderly, more elderly than us, they say, no, I'm not drinking any water. because it make me go to the bathroom too often. That's bad.
That is very
That's
bad.
for your
That is
kidney
bad.
unless a doctor tell you don't drink more than a certain amount of water. But the required amount of water is 8 glasses a day. So if somebody only drink 3 glasses of water for the day, they will be terribly dehydrated.
Of course, of course.
So really and truly, you have to take your intake of water, and don't wash dishes as soon as you walk in the house.
That is true, that is true. But I'll tell you
You
something.
have to
You know,
find a solution.
if you have a heart problem, the doctors will tell you a certain, they limit your intake of water. Like a girl was telling me recently, she has a heart problem. She has a problem with her valve.
Yeah.
So that if she drinks too much water, the water will settle around the heart. I don't know how true that is, but
Well, when you go to your doctor, you must verify that.
well, when I had my heart attack, which is August the 27th, and this year going to be 3 years,
Yeah.
they told me that I must have chubby-sized water, limited amount during the course of the day, because I guess it was the same thing in the early days.
Okay, but now it's nearly 3 years.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, we had to be real careful. But anyway, this question of wetting your pants. I mean, it has some ridiculous cases, eh? You go to I have seen already, we had a function back in the express days. Fella went inside of the toilet area. And when he turned on the tap, right? When he turned on the tap and the water splash up on him. This happened to a lot of men. The water splash up, wet up his shirt, and worse again, it wet up his pants. So you could imagine coming out in front of all these highfalutin people to take a seat at the table, and you had to walk a little distance, bright lights on, and your pants wet, and you come out of the bathroom, boy. You could imagine the embarrassment.
Yeah, especially if it's at that grand function.
It's a grand function. So what do you do in a case like that? You either take your jacket off, if you have on a jacket.
And tie it around your waist. What happened if your belly big?
If you're very big, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. Anyway, partners, getting back to that table was our deal. But if you have on a regular pants and shirt, you know, you just pull your shirt out of your pants and there is nothing extraordinary to do. It's not an uncommon protocol that you're breaking, you know what I mean?
But you know, I will tell you something. That is why it's important that you could laugh. Because
Yeah.
I tell you,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
kind of embarrassment, when these things start happening to you, you will die of embarrassment. So people need to recognize that age is not just a number in that case.
Yeah,
Because it is a deterioration of your organs
Mm-hmm.
that causes this to happen. Because I don't remember you as a young man wetting your pants, but I remember a couple of years ago, like 10 or 15 years ago, your ordeal that you had in Newfoundland.
I don't know why you keep going back to that. I find out.
Because I knew you laughed your way through. So it wasn't an embarrassment.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell me that story again. But let us be serious now.
Yeah.
This is a serious part.
Yeah, it's a serious part, but let me get a joke first.
Yeah.
You know, little Johnny was in front of the class.
Yeah.
Teacher called him up and tell him, okay, you come and say the alphabet. So Johnny start off with A, B, C. When he get to L, he say L, M, N, O, Q, R, S, T. You know the joke?
Yeah.
Q, R, S,
Why you
T.
always giving me jokes, you know?
Yeah, it's true. And then when you get to, what's that again? L, M, N, O. He missed out the letter and he went to
Q.
Teacher say, you missed out P. Where's the P? He said, look at here, miss, running down my leg.
You have told me this joke so many times, Lancy.
Well, I have to tell you, look at here, miss, running down my leg.
Well, yeah, it's very appropriate now.
Oh, geezy well. Anyway, I remember traveling with my brother. One of my brothers, we were traveling together. Mm-hmm. And I had to be stopping and, you know, passing water all the time, and he said to me, you must learn to hold your pee. Well, I tried that, but it really wasn't working. And not long afterwards, I really got a UTI, eh? You know what's that, a UTI?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
urinary tract infection.
Right, tract infection, right, great. So it really makes sense. You can't hold it. They say women can hold a pee for 3 to 6 hours, you know.
Maybe when you're younger.
Will you have a problem?
You know, women more private than men.
Well, boy, let me tell you something. Women could be more private than men, but when you see you get out there, you never know what will happen. We were traveling with a lady from the deep south, and she's a very prim and proper lady, yeah? But I tell you the truth, when this urge came on, you had to put aside decorum and all of that, you know. Right? There's no blow to your integrity if you had to pull aside in the bushes. A lot of young people wouldn't want to do it.
But I notice a lot of men, when you're driving, all on the highway, all over, Trini men just come out and do what they have to do.
Well, maybe they're drinking too much beers.
Yes,
You
all
understand?
along
Maybe
the
they're drinking too much
highway.
beer. But it's a charge, I understand. I think it is a charge to be peeing in the public. Eh?
But then what we need to probably do is start to have rest stops like in big countries.
That's a good idea.
Because we have no rest stop. I mean, there is a journey, Trinity to Icacus. That's a 3-hour journey.
Yeah.
And if you don't have family that you stop and you break the journey, you will be going in the bush.
Well,
right
you got to
through.
look for a KFC outlet, but these days KFC outlet don't even afford that. Some of them don't even afford that facility.
Yeah. So I think that we need some rest stop along the way, because it doesn't look good to see men just,
Yes,
back,
yes.
and you don't have to doubt what it is they're doing.
But tell me something. Gas stations long ago, you could have gone to them and probably use their toilets. But I don't know.
Yeah,
if
but that is not for public service. I mean, yes, you go and you buy gas and you could use it, but you can't just go like that and say.
But in the
like-
states, you could probably get a convenience store.
Well, the convenience stores are designed
Designed for that.
long journeys.
But
all
our
along
quick
the
shop,
way.
our quick shops afford that facility.
I'm not too sure, because we don't have many quick shops. It's just about 8 of them, and they were not in far journeys along the Eastern Main Road. You had a few, and you know what I mean. But I'm talking about going on long journeys where
Well, they really
somebody
need to have
3
some.
hours.
Yeah, you don't have to be a
or
big
you're
facility.
Going to Toko. Somebody leave the west going to Toko. It's going to take them 3 hours.
Yeah.
No rest stop along the way, even if it is a temporary what you call those little things they put
Park disposal.
disposal
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle of nowhere that well, you're gonna meet it.
Let me tell you something. In the middle of nowhere, you probably won't find it again.
If somebody might carry home.
It might be in somebody's backyard by then. You understand? Yeah. But a healthy bladder can hold about 2 cups of urine before it is considered full. It takes your body 9 to 10 hours to produce 2 cups of urine. 9 to 10 hours.
But you'll be emptying your bladder before that time.
Well, it's true.
You'll be
Yeah,
entering.
maybe every
'Cause
3
I don't
hours.
think anybody
A healthy
will.
person in 3 hours' time, they could empty their bladder.
Yeah, exactly.
But with a fella like me, you pass through water on the road, I might just get the urge.
Yeah.
Right.
It's quite a thing that, in marriage, when you're getting married, you don't think about the man getting old.
But that's a good point you raised there. I wanted to ask you that since the other day. Now that I am growing older, they used to say that there are 16 reasons why you really shouldn't get married.
Why you shouldn't?
Why you shouldn't? There's 16 reasons. For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer.
Mm-hmm.
All put them all together is 16 reasons, right?
16 reasons you should get married.
You should get married?
Yeah, that's what any priest announcing, saying the ceremony, he say, for richer, for poorer. For what are you forget we married so long?
For in health or in sickness.
For in health and in sickness.
Right. But I want to ask you a question. Now that I've grown older, and especially in marriage, you find it difficult to to administer this last part of the journey, where I might be ill, where I wet in the floor, little little things that you don't see when you're younger
Yeah.
and you're in love, you're head over heels, and you tell yourself, I could live with you forever.
Yeah.
And when these little hard times, you know that when I say a lot of people at the age of 50 perhaps, they get divorced, maybe they're running into a stage where the worst is coming and they're not prepared to put up. Either party may be not prepared to put up with these inconveniences. How you feel?
Okay. If I think that for people to divorce 50 years after the age of 50 meant you would have at least married 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if people at 50 getting divorced, I don't think it has anything to do with sickness. Yes, you could have got a heart attack. But 50 years man is still in his prime.
Mm.
So more than likely, if you get divorced at 50, it is because your life was around children, and as soon as the children get married or the children leave home, you look around and you realize, hey, we don't know each other, and I don't want to know you anyway.
Oh my.
Yeah. So for 50 years, people getting married, being married, and at the age of 50, divorcing, I often wonder too, what has happened. But as time go along and you start to talk to different people, you realize they never had a relationship. Their lives was on the back burner, but they didn't and focus mainly on the children. That is why the romance has to be in the marriage. The love, the fire has to be burning so it wouldn't out. But if you out that fire totally for the first 25 years of your marriage, when your children leave home, you cannot pick up the pieces. You are actual strangers. Mm-hmm. But in your 70s, like you and I, now, 50 years married, with a relationship, I can't say that I was angry because you wet the floor. I can't say that.
Okay.
I got him up and realized, well, this is strange. And well, because I have a smelling problem, I wasn't too sure if it was water fell. You know.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is reason for people to get weary. Now, another thing, hold your point.
Yes.
Another thing is, you are just 2 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So you are 72. You 73?
You forgetting?
And I'll be 71 next week.
God willing.
Because we are alive. So 2 years difference is really, I myself might be trailing to get to the toilet too.
Once you don't pee the bed.
I'll just roll you over and go on your side.
Oh gosh. Don't pee the bed.
So age difference, if there's not a great age difference, you will be able to cope with it, I would think. And if you do, you can joke about it. But if you take life very seriously and didn't realize that you are going to grow older, you didn't want your partner to die young and leave you to be a widow. So it's true thick and thin.
Yeah.
And if you don't die young, you will have illness. Mm-hmm. And you will have a lot of ups and downs. A lot of things will happen. But you just have to be prepared. While you have the health and strength to be there for each other, you just know today for me, tomorrow for you.
All right, girl. All right.
So I honestly don't have a problem with that.
Well,
but I still want to remind me that you said this is an aging process. Well, 15 years ago, what happened?
Well, okay. Let me get on to that story now. We were in Nova Scotia, right?
Yes.
Far away from Trinidad. And we were having a couple of days with friends.
And then we went to Newfoundland.
And then we went to Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And while there, we were having a great time with our friends. And I try to avoid coffee and tea when I travel abroad because I know it is like a stimulant, you see?
Yes.
So I did my best during those couple of days to avoid it. I had no problem, no urges. And I said,
And
right.
it was very cold, eh?
And it was cold. But the last day before we left, I decided, hey boy, I missed out on all that coffee and all that tea. Let me see if I could top it up now with some of these nice sweet desserts they have. So I really overdid it. Now where we were parked in this van had all my clothes and whatnot, and I was taking my suitcase. Lyndon was with us. He was a little fella, growing, and I went out there to open the van and put the suitcase. And it was a long way from the house because you know these places are pretty big.
It was on a farm.
A farm like. So we went out there and there I was at the back of the vehicle, and suddenly with all this tea and coffee and sweet stuff down my stomach, I had this urge to pee.
But meanwhile, not forgetting, you went also with the intention, one of the friends was waiting to take a picture.
One of the friends waiting to take a picture. So I say, okay, I'm going to go and fix up with this vehicle, put away my clothes and
get your camera so you could
get my camera so we could go and take this picture, you see. So I went out there and I stood up behind the vehicle, opened it up, one of these things that goes up in the air, put in my clothes and whatnot. I think the suitcase actually was back there, and I had brought Lyndon's stuff into the.
Lyndon had a pants.
Hold on. Hey, my story. Okay, right?
But I don't hear something.
No. Forget that. My story. You want to pee for me too or what?
Not at all.
Right. So anyway, I got there, lifted the trunk, and suddenly I want to pee badly. I turned around and there's a lady in an opposite farm there, and she's looking out her window at me there. And I'm just scanning the area, and other cars are on the farm and other people walking around. And I said, my goodness, I could never make it back to the house. What am I going to do? And suddenly, this thing came down on me. And I said, the only thing I can do is to let at least save one socks, one shoe, one pants, leg. And I raised my leg like that, and I had a really wonderful time. Coffee and tea flowing freely. Anyway, it's time to get this wet pants off. So I climb into the vehicle. It had enough room, it was like a 7-seater. Climb into the vehicle, take off my wet clothes. But now I can't find a pants because my suitcase is back in the house. And the only pants I could see there is Lyndon's pants, but it will fit me like a 3/4 pants. And the lady of the house is coming to tell me that they're waiting for me to get this picture taken. And I said, what am I going to do? Anyway, I managed to get on Lyndon's 3/4 pants. And just as she came and I opened the door and she looked at me and I'm minus one socks and shoe and I'm wearing a 3/4 pants. And she looked at me and she said, what happened to you? I said, I wet my pants. And you know, we both laughed at me. And the thing about it is this, know how to laugh at yourself.
Of course.
Because I'll tell you the truth, you don't know when it's going to happen to you.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'll tell you what, with all this talk, I want to pee. So, excuse me, Louise.